if you win game 1 that dominantly, maybe you go, all right, we can shuffle things around for game 2.
Yeah, that might be the case, and maybe they want to try a different composition out. I mean, it is week 6, and maybe Synergy is just not as strong as a team anymore, so they can use a sub. But we know that a lot of sometimes a sub is not really a sub; they're like a star. These fights.
Well, we've been talking about spice levels in Europe. Slots on the ban phase.
Yeah, I feel like she's not that strong. She's good, but she's not ban worthy because there's a lot other just really more dominating options like Bennett, like Aurum, for example, like Valheim. So I feel like they will prioritize those over the Annette because she hasn't really found her groove yet. They have to figure her out still.
I feel like she's well balanced, and her major weakness is just that people don't yet know where she fits in a team comp. We haven't seen any good compositions punishing her abilities. There's no synergy set up yet. Despite her being a good character, we don't have the specific sets that make her a great character.
Yeah, oh, Pyrrha being taken away. They're going to deny it from Synergy because that's probably their strongest support. So INTZ doing a good job. And I feel like every time Synergy doesn't get Pyrrha, they really struggle. I notice like they constantly get target banned Pyrrha away from them. And wow, the first pick in net is going to come out here and deny it away from INTZ.
And now look at what this leaves open on the table for side laners as an option. None of the side laners that we're used to seeing in the Valor series get banned. You've got Zenio, you've got Malik, you've got Marja, as well as Omen being left on the board. So this gives INTZ essentially pick of the litter, where they can go whatever they might choose for these side lane pressures.
Crazy thought to go back to the Pyrrha ban. Keo is the Pyrrha player. Keo is insanely good at Pyrrha, and because he's in the roster, they oftentimes hesitate to ban him out. Now they're on the red side. They can't guarantee they'll get the Pyrrha.
Yeah,
do you think that's maybe the swap?
Zenio and potentially Liliana and secure that away. So I feel like, yeah, Zenio is going to pick up, and Matt, wow, that's a very strong comment. Actually, not Liliana, because they rather put Mist on this Crixie. So Zenio and Malik, really, really good pickup here, and I feel like they should pick Omen to counter the Zenio and then Yorn to just completely counter the Malik and win side lane. Because the weakness of Synergy is that side lane matchup. And then with a weak jungle like Vox, he just can't rotate and help their side laners. So I feel like they need to draft dominant side laners so they both can help Vox not fall behind in jungle. Because Vox has not been performing very well in jungle for Synergy.
And what is still on the board for that dominant side lane? Maybe Omen? But
yeah, Omen and Yorn, so they should pick like a tanky jungler in the like a Zephy's Cricknack would still be good, and then pick up that Yorn. But Zephy's maybe picked up here. He's pretty strong if you combo and play him correctly. I wonder when we actually saw show up a little bit here and has a lot of success.
Yeah. Because you can run the Wonder Woman in that bot lane, I feel like she's a decent counter to the Valor.
There we go. Oh, okay, Zephy's is fine. I think Zephy's a little better for Vox. It allows him to sustain a little longer because the lower HP Zephy's has, the tankier and harder to kill he becomes. And that actually works really well with Annette's passive Whisper Wind. So as long as they do this well together, and then the Superman here being picked up here for... and I do like that because Superman has been making his way into the meta more often now.
But does he still find himself clout? Because then that kind of forces Zenio now to the support position. But instead, it seems like an immediate going, no, we won't want to think about it. Alice has now found herself in almost every single game thus far today.
I'm still an Alice fan, but I think if Alice falls behind, she's not nearly as effective because she needs to have short CDR.
I think for me, a huge component of my kind of just the questions that I'm starting to draw from this is the rise of Alice and the kind of decline of Chognar. Chognar is not a hero that we have seen show as much pressure, presence throughout today. It's almost as if week 6, everybody decides, you know what, we don't really care much about Chognar. Remember Alice? Remember her from season 1? Let's bring her back.
Yeah, Yorn, yes, nice pickup here. I do like the Yorn pickup. I mean, every time, Synergy always pulls out interesting drafts here. Already, the Zephy's Wonder Woman is a draft that we have not seen very often, if at all, in the meta. And then with Kali and Yorn, this is something they like to play very off-meta. things.
They're returning to that Illumia.
And they better execute it. They have to work together to make it work here.
So, I like the Wonder Woman because she functions very similar to the Malik and indeed can counter Malik well in lane due to her stuns and high mobility. My major concern, looking at this draft, is they do have a very squishy backline. Annette typically doesn't build a lot of HP, Carly can be bursted down, same for Yorn. Especially with a Raz opposing them, they can be blasted through.
Yeah, I think the key here is how are they going to leverage Yorn and Malik, because Yorn is going to completely beat Malik in side lane, so they need to rotate and help keep the pressure up, make sure he doesn't get ganked, get that tower early on Dragon side, win Dragon side, and then snowball from there, because every time Synergy does not win the Dragons and the enemy team does, they normally will lose almost every single time.
And I want to see what Mixer J does in this roster now, changing in for Keo in game number 2. He's finding himself on the Alice. You mix in the Alice as well as with the Slims. You have an opportunity to kind of offset some of the weaknesses that Slims finds in the early game. I want to see if Mixer J is able to take it to that next step, because you have strong laners. You have the capability to alleviate pressure away from the jungle and give INTZ Slims an ability to scale himself up. But the question will become, does he have the presence and the ability to actually show that presence in those lanes?
Yeah, and that's going to be key. And I do like the Slims into the Wonder Woman, because Wonder Woman is going to build very tanky. And Slims, his ultimate, the Savage Potion, allows him to do a lot of his hits that take percentage HP damage. So Wonder Woman is going to be suspect. If she gets CC locked and Slims goes at her, she can die a lot quicker than expected.
And I think that's going to be a very key interaction to watch. Whether or not the Slims is able to get built quickly. We've seen a lot of that today. Slims, if they get shut down quickly, it's over for the team.
Well, as we have seen, it is all action all the time in the Latin American region, but we want to make sure to remind you at home there are opportunities for you to catch up on Latin America as well as the other 2 regions, North America as well as Europe, by heading over to our website. That's www.valorseriesesports.com. We've got the schedules, we've got the results, we've got the standings, anything and everything you could ever hope for in the Valor Series outside of a webcam chat with Suijay, because everybody wants to be able to have a talk and little hearty chat with him. Unfortunately, sorry, that's not available. But everything else is there. Make sure you head over. Make sure you check it out. It's new for Season 2, and it has all the details you could ever want. But in the meanwhile, it is time to get into our second game of our first match of the day. Synergy Esports changes things up, makes some new additions, and INTZ is looking to continue their hot streak and beat this out to 2-0.
There's ships passing in the night in the middle lane. Mist will actually find himself in the middle of a lot of Synergy members as the rest of INTZ plunge into the enemy jungle. Not sure about this.
Yeah, I do like that Synergy is trading now, so that's better for them, and they're not giving up first blood. So I like the teamwork that they're showing. And Katrina is going to be placed and playing the Yorn instead here. And Keys is going to switch from side lane and playing Kali. So maybe Katrina, with him being on Yorn, could be the difference maker for Synergy.
I'd have to hope for them and hope for that, because Synergy do need an answer, and quickly.
Yeah, not only do they change up their composition, they change up their positions as well.
Invictus in a lot of trouble here. He may go down very early on. Knocked up, the cleave comes through, and Mist finds first blood. Keys may be in yet more trouble as there is return.
Yeah, they need to distract them here, because look at the bottom. Katrina is doing so much work in that tower. He might be able to take that tower down, or take it down so low that with the next push, it will be taken down. And that's exactly what you want to do with Yorn matching up into the Malik here.
Mist will come through. INTZ want mid lane pressure, and that's what they're trying to set up. You can see Mixer J, we kind of questioned his role on the roster. So far, he's been playing a very aggressive Alice.
Yeah, I do like how INTZ is playing, though. They have performed and improved so much week after week, and now in week 6, I've never seen them just have so much synergy. These 4-man rotations they are doing are just perfect for them to take these objectives.
This is a very well-practiced INTZ, and that's far cry from the team we were introduced to. Vidaria holding front lines right now to make sure the zone for Abyssal can be secure. That's a very long-range flying spear.
Yeah, that is huge, but however, they gotta stop this Abyssal Dragon here, because Synergy can turn it around and cannot give over a free Dragon uncontested this way.
And they do. Synergy don't get there in time. INTZ get Dragon number 1 and kill number 1. So far on a good path to victory.
Yeah, and look at this. Another invade. Level 5, level 4 against a level 3 Vox. This is not looking good.
There's the Angelic Splendor coming through. Pateria will try and clean up the backlines while the core of INTZ press forward. Keys needs to flicker to safety underneath the tower, and the rest of INTZ will fall back.
Yeah, and again, this is an assassin composition, and you're behind on levels as the assassin. It's not good at all. And Zephy's, he needs to get level 4 before his opponents do, because his Death from Above ultimate does so much work. It's so dangerous against squishy assassins. Look at it, they're constantly shutting down and invading his jungle. Vox continues to fall behind every single game, and this is the weakness that INTZ just knows and completely exploiting and targeting Vox's jungle here.
And you can see it working very effectively again. Vox in a lot of trouble. INTZ instead focusing on double farming. They're keeping that Alice right next to Myth to make sure that he's able to farm a little bit more efficiently.
Yeah, and that's the key. The faster your rotation speed, the more ganks you can do. And look at this. This is why Yorn is so good into Malik. Malik cannot do anything against the Yorn here. Completely out-pressuring them, and Katrina is going to smartly back up. And I think, honestly, this game, just give all the farm to Katrina. Get Katrina to late game. Vox is going to have to just be a tanky warrior that protects Katrina, because, honestly, not making much of a difference in the jungle here. Just give your farm to Katrina and let Katrina carry the whole team.
And Vox is building Leviathan. That's going to make him a little bit more on the tanky side as a Zephyrs. That may be exactly what the roster needs.
Engage, there we go.
Oh,
nice.
Mist knocked up, Death Flurry as well. Katrina down bottom though has bigger trouble in mid lane. It's a trade kill, but I don't think Synergy won the trade.
Yeah, this is where Vox should have taken that jungle camp. Every single jungle camp matters, and he's behind the farm, so the more jungle he can take, as soon as they get these ganks, the further he can catch up.
Speaking of jungle, there's Pateria pushing in. Vox just needs to flee. Invictus will eat a stun. He's got the wind cuffs, he'll make it to safety, but man, that's rough.
It's not good. Myth is level 7. The Slims is level 7 versus a level 5 Zephyrs. How can Zephyrs stand a chance to blow up a Slims if he's 2 levels above you and is ahead on items? This is not looking good for Zephyrs here.
You know you're in trouble when the Slims can out melee you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Here's the pressure around the Abyssal Dragon. Synergy start to open things up. Keys is using his Grievance ult as quickly as he can to try and find the damage, and Myth will be able to pick up the Dragon. That's for INTZ. Now they press forward. Vox is in far too deep. Mist will annihilate him, and the shock follows through. Good flicker from Keys to keep him safe. And there's the Hurricane Wall as well. Invictus stalling up the fight, but Keys is chained down, chased down by Myth, and they have Invictus as well, leaving Katrina as the sole survivor for Synergy.
Again, a nice rotation. That was 5 members versus 4. They took advantage of the indecisiveness. However, Lunas is going to be able to take the top tower, but Vox, again, was indecisive. He didn't go in with his ultimate Death from Above. Zephyrs always engages with that. He actually used it right before he dies, and they have to combo. As soon as Kali uses her Corfield Pulse ultimate, then Zephyrs should have then ulted whoever Kali was focusing on, and then they need to synergize their abilities together. If Synergy does not fight together because they're playing this new comp, and people are switched positions, then I feel like they just won't be able to come back in this game.
Mist will drift back. He's been having a little bit of trouble here, which was unexpected. Oof. Oh my lord, Vox, that's not the amount of damage you want to be doing with the Death's Flurry at close range. Vox will be in yet more trouble as well as the Hissy Fit comes through. Luans may have overstayed his welcome. He's done that a fair bit, and here it hurts them again. The shock will land. Pateria will evade that good bracelets of submission, and this means he can stay right on the back of Synergy, continuing to press forward. Luans is dead. The Hurricane Wall might buy Invictus safety, and Vox is barely able to slip through the jungle.
Yeah, he should never engage with Death's Flurry unless you land the Death from Above, because if you land Death from Above, it activates the passive from that ultimate, Thunder Crash, which makes his Death Flurry do much more damage every hit. The magic damage actually was buffed from a few patches ago. So Vox, again, not maximizing what makes Zephyrs so strong.
And it really showed when Mixer J just ate it.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
Oh, that's a good stun. There's the Savage Potion. Myth has the kill deep underneath the tower.
Level 10. He's level 10.
They grow up so fast.
They do. They grow up so fast, especially if you're a mouse or whatever with the spear.
You're not wrong. Luans will have a lot of trouble down bottom. I think it's a rodent of some form, maybe a ferret.
Yeah, I think the only way for them to come back is they have to give all the farm to Katrina, and then they need to combo their abilities, because the Death from Above, along with the wind cuffs from Annette can do a lot of work to CC their opponent. And then also Wonder Woman has a huge AoE stun as well.
Luan's just got stunned out of his recall. That is brutal, and now the shot comes through as a follow-up. Paderio right into the backlights. Katrina needs to retreat, but the Hissy Fit's already been applied. Invictus and his friend are both dead. CC, the Hurricane Wall will try and buy him to safety. He spends Essence of the Wind as well, just for the shield and speed boost, and this means it's not available when Mist hard commits for a chase in.
Yeah, that focus was awesome there. Myth actually landed a Flying Spear onto Katrina, and they could have killed Katrina, but instead he decides to focus whoever his team is focusing, and I love that decision making. They're not splitting their damage, they're focusing everyone. And look at that, oh my goodness.
Mist, why are you so good? All of these Flying Spears have landed, every single one. Like you say, he's so far outscaled, there is no way to stop his reign.
Mythical spears.
Luna's
coming in there.
Okay. Hard commit, deep into 3. There's a Hissy Fit, and he's not stopping. He just keeps going. In the meantime, Paderio commits onto 2. He has much more success.
You know, his team's not there, engaging him by himself into a 1 versus 3, and you're a couple levels behind. Little questionable there with that engage. Synergy's got to follow up, though. But they have the chance. That was actually a good engage. I liked it. It's just his team needed to be with him. Again, Wonder Woman landed her AoE abilities. Zephy's can follow up with Death from above. Annette can then go in there. Kali can... Oh, there's so many things they can do together, and they just have to play with synergy.
And I feel like many times that's why Paderio is pressing forward. Paderio on the Malik has been able to shut down that follow-up with good shocks many times.
Yeah, his shock has been landed very well. The only reason where he misses the shock is because the enemy opponents flicker out of it. So his positioning, his timing on all of his shock ultimates have just been on point. And on top of that, the cleaves have been really important there in both games that he's played.
We talked about Myth. He's currently soloing the Dark Slayer. And it's going well. The rest of the team will now rotate through to make sure it can't be ganked. Myth still with the solo. Gets a little bit low, but we'll be able to eke it out now with the Slayer buff.
However,
there we go. There's the combo you were looking for.
Yes.
Bracelets come through. Hurricane Roll to stall up the punish. That is very good decision making as well. Synergy need to play this carefully though, because the damage is coming through. Fox will dive in. Myth needs to run because he is very low, but he's able to kite. Fox is tagged low. Luans, have you overextended? Yes, you have, but it does not matter. He still finds the trade. Fox returns. Death from above into Death's Flurry will find another, and Myth this time is the only player who lives with the Slayer buff.
Yeah, that was such an awesome combo. I was waiting for that. That Kali ultimate, the stuns, the heal, and also Invictus there using Annette perfectly with the wind cuffs, and the Hurricane Wall actually blocked the Malice from Zenio.
There was no way to get a full return in. However, Invictus may want to return to those days as things are quickly spiraling out of control. Synergy leaves him in the mid lane. Keys will be able to make a break for safety.
Oh no, wow, that died. That was so scary there. I would be scared if I see a rat throwing a spear at me that way.
You're not wrong, that would be scary.
And he drinks a potion and turns colorful and just runs at you.
I think in general, giant rats are pretty terrifying. But I'm happy that we've got this level of analysis out of you.
I know. I appreciate it. He has really big ears, too. I think that's the key to his ability to kill his opponents here. But that's the key. They have to kill him. They have to kill Myth. If they can kill Myth, they win these fights. And Myth has been perfectly positioning himself at the back of the fights and surviving and securing kills himself.
Vox could use some big ears. He did hear that spear coming his way and was able to dodge it. The pressure onto him is intense. Luans will now take the front lines, but it's only a stalling Mazer. Oh my goodness, the bracelets will land. It's the only reason he's still alive. That shot from Pateria is there as a
Kill him.
The Hurricane Wall, he's slapped back, but he still survives. He's so tanky, and now Synergy have lost far too much. There is no way to turn this around. Luans will try and recommit. He is the only player left, but he hard flickers underneath the tower, knowing his pressure is the only conceivable answer, but it's a complete team wipe.
All I can say is that's why they picked Zenio Malik. The Angelic Splendor saving Paradera's life there and then turning that fight around in their favor.
And INTZ have a 2-0 as a result. Great draft choices, great execution, and it's 2-0 in their favor.
INTZ allowed the miss to roll in, and then out of nowhere, it was a Raz uppercut to the face as they secure themselves a 2-0 victory over their opponent, Synergy Esports. Welcome back to the desk. My name is Jump. I've got Mr. TJ and Sweej. Gentlemen, it was quite the bout by NTZ.
Yeah, and I imagine when you're the uppercut, I was imagining Slim just like doing an uppercut with his spear. I mean, that was the name of the game. Myth, and more Myth and his spears and his positioning. I mean, that guy just used every ability at the right moments, using Savage Potion to engage, jumping away, jumping in. It's just beautiful play. And look at that. He has all of the stats. 908 there, just completely carried his team.
I would like to say I was blown away by Invictus's Annette play, getting to see him use Hurricane Wall effectively multiple times.
He blocked a Malice.
Yeah.
Zenio couldn't jump into the team, and that's what made them able to follow up and continue to get into the fight and win that fight. You
still have to give credit where credit is due, though, to Mixer J kind of subbing into this. His Alice play, he still, I mean, he only secured himself, what, 88% kill participation, which is still, by and large, a fantastic number, let me mind you. But he stepped into the role that he needed to play. He was able to be the kind of stunning support for his team and help them get those victories.
Yeah, he definitely played really well. Like I said, most subs are not really subs in a sense that they're not as good as the starters. They're just as good, and that just shows you when you have a deep bench like that, it's going to give you a lot of options to work around. And he played really well. I mean, the whole team just rotated so well. There are 3 4-man rotations, and also the Angelic Splendors coming from afar just helped INTZ decisively win so many key fights in the early and mid game.
I felt like it was a better look from INTZ as a whole. With the Alice, they were able to play a lot more aggressive, I think, whereas Apura stays with the team. The Alice was creating openings, so maybe that was what they were playing around with that substitution.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at our AT&T replays of the game. We've got 2. We've got an early game and we've got a late game. And this first one that we have just at the 5-minute mark shows kind of this back and forth feel by Synergy, but it was still INTZ that knew how to control.
Yeah, and Vox here going in, then he uses ultimate here, and it was a little too late already there. Should have engaged sooner with keys there, and I felt like that could make there, but as soon as Fusion uses Angelic Splendor to come from the other and turns into a 5 versus 4, that's when Synergy needed to secure a kill or back off.
And this final fight underneath the tower was so good. Padaria returning in.
Fusion.
Yeah. Fusion able to keep him up, and now they just have a clean fight from here on in. It's an easy cleanup once they baited out all those major abilities on their tanks.
Yeah, and Myth has such great focus. He just target locks one person and just sticks to them, and they cannot escape. And he did that every fight, even when he got a flying spear onto another opponent, but his team was focusing another hero, he would then switch his focus onto whoever his team was focusing, and that's how you win team fights, is you focus all your DPS into one person and kill that person to enable your team to win the fight.
Now, I do have to say, INTZ, you take a look, especially that last replay, for example, was one of the purest examples of making sure that everybody is where they need to be when they need to be there. Every time there was an engage, whether it be the Malik or the Zenil, the other one was following up with them, and they are able to help. These are those moments you look for in these teams of when we decide to hit the go button, the other 4 members on your team are capable of doing so.
They looked like they had really good communication in this game, and that's very difficult to do, and it's a thing that we haven't really seen from a lot of INTZ games this season.
Yeah.
You said it during, I think, Game 2. They look really improved.
Yeah, they improved so much, and Synergy, they got to learn from INTZ. I mean, INTZ and Synergy were kind of in the same boat in the first 4 weeks, I felt, and I felt INTZ is a team that has learned a lot from their mistakes and playing much more like a team with these tight rotations, these ganks, doing such a good job of controlling the objectives and controlling the aggression.
Well, the troubles continued for Synergy Esports, but more importantly, INTZ have proved that they are a team that can hang with the rest when they so choose. They walk away with a 2-0 victory, but now we have our regional rivalries matchup of the week, Geo Esports versus Pain Gaming, coming up after the break. Don't go anywhere. The action of the Valor Series returns right after this.
Zuka has extremely high attack damage, which means he relies heavily on normal attacks. Because of this, our Arcana recommendations are as follows. Atrocity for the increased critical damage, Skewer for the massive armor pierce and a bit more damage, and Gorilla to increase attack speed and movement speed. Put in 10 of each and you'll be ready to go. As for the equipment build, we see Omni Arms, Fenrir's Tooth, and Rankbreaker as the essentials. Together, these items should provide enough attack speed, damage, and physical pierce to guarantee that when Zuka encounters an enemy, he can deal a ton of damage in a short time. Whatever you do, don't judge Zuka based on his shape. He's pretty fast for his size. His first ability, Pain on a Stick, allows him to charge 2 separate times. His second ability, Panda Chariot, tacks on even more mobility. Better yet, both of these abilities can be used to pass through walls. His ultimate, Skyfall, is the icing on the cake. Its speed and range make him adept at both chasing enemies and escaping from them. Looks aren't always what they seem. Zuka was born to gank enemies in the early game. He has the potential to invade the enemy's jungle near the beginning of a match, and can use his first ability to provide support whenever his teammates need help. As for his other abilities, they all grant a boost to his normal attacks. When ganking with Zuka, use his ultimate to control the enemy. Then follow up with a normal attack, his first ability, and then another normal attack. Finally, use his second ability to control and finish off the enemy. Well, that's all for today. See you next time.
We just saw ourselves have an exciting match in the sense of INTZ walking away with a 2-0 victory over Synergy Esports. The desk continues, but before we do that, we have a marquee matchup in Geo Esports versus Pain Gaming, two of the juggernauts of the Latin American region, and as a result, they have found themselves as the headliners in our regional rivalries presented by AT&T.
Week 5 of Regional Rivals takes us down to Brazil in a national grudge match with more than just pride on the line. Geo Esports is out to defend their crown against Pain Gaming, who are hot on their heels after a dominant Week 5 victory. This match is going to be epic, so who better to set the stage than one of our awesome Latin American casters? I have Kaizera on the line. Great to have you here, man. Give us the rundown on this match.
Yeah, man, it's a clash of titans here. Geo is one of the oldest teams in our region. They, for months, they were winning everything, passing through a lot of championships, getting the first places. And we also have Pain Gaming on the other side, which is the team that represented us on the AWC, the World's Arena of Valor. They didn't have like a very good representation there. They lost every game they played, but it was for their learning, their knowledge. It's being very good. And the thing about this game is we're gonna face off No Mercy and White, and we also have Metal and Momo. That's gonna be like the best matchups in this game on mid lane and jungle. And I guess White is one of the best farmers in this region in Valor series. He's very good. He has like a pretty good average. And No Mercy is a slayer. Like, he goes for kills like no one else here in our region, and he's the superstar for Geo. The biggest thing, I guess, in this game is the Pain Gaming likes to go through late games, you know, extend the game a little bit more. And Geo likes to finish like real quick. And they go for team fights and everything, so it's gonna be a great matchup for us to watch.
Thank you so much. I mean, I guess we should ask, because we're always asked on the desk what our predictions are. What's your prediction for this matchup?
My prediction, I would go safe for a draw. The two teams are very good, and the game will be decided on the early game. If Pain Gaming gets like an invade and start to slow down No Mercy's evolution, is going to be good for them. And if Geo starts to impose their rhythm, it's going to be an easy game for them. So I would go for a draw, and let's see what happens.
Awesome, man. Really appreciate you breaking this down for us. Thank you so much.
I have to thank you for the invite, and I see you in Sao Paulo.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Thanks a lot to Environment Kaisera for giving us the
Yay.
awesomeness that is region rivalries. Yay, everybody's happy. You heard his prediction, but now I'm going to kick it immediately to you, gentlemen. What are we thinking?
2-0 Geo, because based on how they performed against Assassins and how Pain played against Assassins, Geo just utterly destroyed Assassin's Crew. 10k gold lead, 1k 1 kill a minute, and 1k gold lead a minute as well. I mean, Geo just looked phenomenal, and that's why it's 2-0.
We were talking about this earlier. I'm actually really impressed by how Pain defeated Assassin's Crew, because it felt like a harder game, but it also felt like they adapted mid-series, made the decisions they needed to make to beat out a tough opponent. And to me, that speaks to me agreeing with the prediction coming through during the Rivals video. I think this is going to go a tie. I think this is going all the way.
All right, well, you can see what they have to say. We want to know what you guys think about it as well. Hashtag Valor Series on Twitter. Let us know your thoughts, your opinions, and who you feel is going to come out on top. There's a lot of information to deep dive into when we think about this matchup. When you think about the power of Geo Esports, when you think about the consistency that Pain Gaming has had in a lot of instances. But I want to highlight KDAs. This is something that they highlighted in the regional rivalry, specifically with the jungle matchups that we'll touch upon in just a second. But Geo Esports as a team in 14 games have themselves a 7.5 team KDA, whereas Pain Gaming only finds themselves at a 4.
And No Mercy was compared to White there. No Mercy has not died in the last 7
Oh
games.
my lord.
And he has the highest KDA the entire Valor series. The entire Valor series at 15.1 KDA. I mean, this guy's aim literally gives no mercy to his opponents.
And White needs to absolutely step it up if he wants to take this battle. I think Pain Gaming are a slower, less aggressive team. And you can see, one thing I really like about Pain Gaming is they do their research.
They do their homework.
And this ban phase speaks to it.
They're like, hey, No Mercy, guess what? You're not going to play your Slims.
More like no Slims.
But we know that Lindis is also a very high priority. Elwin is amazing on the Mina. Elwin actually performed phenomenal along with Angra and Lycan and the combo with Metal. I mean, this team looked so good last week, so they have to be careful when Geo picks a more aggressive NA-style composition into Pain Gaming here.
My key player for Pain Gaming is ZRK. To me, ZRK is the player who can either be the pivotal additional damage they need on the flank, or perhaps a weakness. We'll get back into this, though. The draft has mostly completed the banning phase. It's going to be Arm, Zenial, Crest removed for Geo Esports.
Oh, Mina, see? They respect it. They're doing their homework.
Again,
TJ.
very well researched. Minus Mina, minus Slims, both star players for Geo Esports, but this leaves open
It's
several
Valheim.
picks
Valheim
that are normally
or a
banned.
net. Could be Valheim or a net, but Valheim will most likely be picked up here, I feel, for Geo, but they may opt for a more aggressive composition that allows them to win the early game, so Valheim might not fit in their playstyle, and it's gonna pick up the Violet instead, and that's, I think that's what Geo wants to do. Pain Gaming, like the analyst said, they want tempo control, right? They wanna, you know, drag out the game a little bit and scale up so they can win some key fights in late game.
They're a very deliberate team. They want control of the match, and that's going to mean that they need picks like this. The Malik, who can dominate the early game and then be a real tank towards the end. That's what we want. Whereas Ankara, the reason that first pick comes through, the reason they prioritize Violet, is so that No Mercy can be devastating.
Yeah, and maybe they may go for a Zuka. You know, we saw ZRK play Zuka phenomenal in the side lane. So,
Oh.
you know, right now they're not going to pick up the Zuka or Irie. They're going to pick up the support. Pyrrha, again, high priority if she's not banned.
But Irie isn't removed,
Right.
and remember, Angara on Irie is something we haven't seen in weeks because of how good he was on him.
And as a Violet player, you'd be afraid of an Irie. So they may take away the Irie here because she's great at snowballing. She can farm and jump all over the map and easily split push as well. So Irie may be picked up here along with like a Liliana or some mage that they want to secure from us. Because we know Metal is just phenomenal on his Liliana.
And at the end of the day, if you get Angara on his Irie, good things have usually been bound to happen. Securing the just raw talent, raw skill. This is not something that we are unaccustomed to seeing. Geo Esports have essentially embodied Irie into the hands of Angara, and has surely shown just that.
Yeah, Liliana would be great with Irie. Arjun is great as well, because again, that's a lot of CC, right? Irie has two CC, Arjun has 2 CCs. That's going to basically be able to protect Violet really well if anyone wants to try to get past such mobile front lines here. You know, Ahri and Arjun are able to jump to the back to protect the Violet when needed, or engage and set the Violet up for an aggressive play.
We will see the Pura already locked in for Pain Gaming. I'm going to look for them to maybe go more of a Death Ball style. How would you feel about a Jinnar being coupled through, maybe a Fennec in the backline?
Yeah, Jinnar, Fennec is very popular. We see Pain play Fennec. White is actually very, very good on the Fennec. And Jinnar, we know, is what Momo loves to play. And it's a perfect engage with Pura, with Malik. So your prediction might be spot on, because it makes a lot of sense to pick a Jinnar into an Arjun-Irie combination here and just engage really hard into Violet.
And that may be why Geo prioritized getting an Ardu and getting an Irie, because those are characters with big AoE stuns. That's going to stop the Death Ball from rolling through your front lines.
Oh,
instead,
Trixie
though,
instead.
Ooh, Pain Gaming, I'm not sure about that. I would have preferred the Jinnar Fennec.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting here, because Liliana is going to be, again, great because she has a lot of CC, she has a lot of burst damage. Violet and Liliana are just so devastating late game, and then you have Irie as well. Yep, oof, ouch, that's going to just hurt.
He's physically touching his chest right now because his heart is hurting for
so
Pain
much
Gaming.
burst, and Liliana, if she lands her Shining Light against 2 heroes or more, her auto attacks do percentage health damage based on her ability power. So Liliana is actually very strong late game to counter against the pure heal here.
One thing we did see Pain Gaming do in the past, though, is they occasionally run this Lindis side lane.
Yes, Taiku has Shine on Lindis, so they may go with a Kriknak, and that's a heavy engage comp here. Kriknak can, but Alice counters any type of assassin comp though. So you pick a Kriknak into an Alice, you're asking to be countered hard without a Chogner on your side.
So we'll have to see.
So it's still risky. I think Gio knows that.
The other thing I'm really watching for on the Pain Gaming side is they do not have enough HP to tank out a rush. You're talking about the burst damage potential. Who on that team can take the burst? Maybe late game Malik? That's it.
Yeah.
So if you're picking a Kriknak, I feel you're playing more into that trouble. You need a tankier side lane.
The thing about Malik is Liliana counters him if she can land hit 2 heroes with the Shining Light and do percentage HP damage with auto attack. Arjun does true damage in his abilities. You know, when he activates his ability, he can hit someone 3 times, and those next 3 hits do true damage to their opponent. So they do have some tools to deal with the tankiness of the Malik here. I think what Pain Gaming is going to pick here, they need to decide to switch to another side laner or go ahead and follow through on their Kriknak combo that they do like playing.
And this is a hard decision for them to make. They've been sitting here for a while.
Because Kriknak, Lindis...
Oh, second side lane comes through.
Second side lane instead. Kriknak, Lindis is still good because they rotate jungle so fast.
This is such a squishy comp from Pain Gaming. Like,
yeah.
I really don't like this. I think they're just going to get run over by the burst damage. Can you imagine what a late game Violet Liliana is going to do to that?
Yeah, however, they have a strong early game.
Yes.
Gio wants the early game. And Gio's the team that wants to finish the game in less than 10 minutes. They finish a lot of their games in like 10 minutes. So Pain has the early game advantage because of the Pyrrha and Malik and Lindis. Those are 3 very strong early game heroes. So they're going to be looking to invade. And Gio probably looking to trade.
So maybe the policy is you rush down the early game, you make something happen, and if you can stall out long enough, Pain Gaming get to the late game where they think they're fundamentally better than Gio.
Yeah, because if Lindis is behind Violet, you're in big trouble.
I want to see how Pain Gaming's early game plays out. You guys have been talking about it. It's been a back and forth point of contention, but this is something that there are members of Pain Gaming that can succeed in that instance. You take a look at White, you take a look at the aggressive nature that he has. If there's any point in time that I want to highlight the jungle matchup, this game is where we are going to see them cut it out inside that jungle. You take a look at No Mercy, you take a look at White and the success that they have had for their teams. This is exactly what we saw in Verum highlight in his video. I want to see which of these players steps up and take control of this early game.
Yeah, and the thing with Pyrrha is if they group up on top Pyrrha when she casts his Nature Rally or Healing Light, that's perfect for Irie's AoE stun to knock the entire team and stun them. And also Hissy Fit. He can put Hissy Fit on everyone there, and Pyrrha...
They have so much good AoE against a Pyrrha comp, that's devastating. Because what you want to do with the Pyrrha comp is you want to engage as a tight unit. You want to use that Nature's Rally, you want to encourage the enemy to come close to your Nature's Rally, and that's just going to be read and destroyed.
Well, while we get ourselves loaded into the game, we want to remind you, if there's any of our Spanish viewers out there, there is a Spanish stream that is available for you. That's facebook.com/Arena of Valor Esports, where you can watch yourself with, we have the Spanish broadcasters, we have the Spanish stream, and you can watch this delightful match that is about to come up on the board, and in sense, it is up right about now. This is the marquee matchup of the week in the Latin American region. We've got two juggernauts of Latin America, Geo Esports and Pain Gaming, battles to the death, but more importantly, who is climbing to the top?
And I didn't mention yet, TJ, Lycan on Arduin. He is amazing on Arduin here, and that's going to be super exciting to watch.
We're going to have to see if he can make that work, because already Geo Esports have started off with some aggression. Pain Gaming lose about half their HP on both Cray and ZRK. Now Angra shifts forward, that spin comes through, and ZRK, the primary tank, is already so low. There's the heal coming through. They can't quite steal the mind buff, and that is an amazing Arduin engage. Lycan already proving your words true as 2 kills come through.
Thank you very much, Lycan. Thank you very much. But that was amazing. The first engage and the follow-up, and then also Angra landing that spin, hitting multiple points. They have the weaker early game, but the way that they just rotate together and they're combining these abilities, Eldwin hit multiple people with the Sunshine stun there, and Angra did as well, and then Lycan hit 3 people with the Ren, and they both used their execute. I mean, just beautiful, beautiful execution from Geo.
Absolutely devastating as a start. And Geo Esports are able to bully Pain out of the good early game they were hoping for.
Yeah, they definitely took the Pain to Pain gaming in the early game here.
All right, fine. You're so clever, Suey.
I know. Thank you, TJ. I appreciate it.
Geo are continuing to press forward, trying to keep scaring Pain back. They get Taiku chipped down in the bush, and they're swapping lanes. The reason Taiku was there is because they're rotating him up to top lane.
Yeah, they gotta be careful. You think about what Geo has here. If Anger lands a beautiful spin onto multiple opponents, Lycan can follow up with a knockup, and Alice, Elwin can follow up with a stun as well. That's huge.
Geo just counter-rotate Pain's rotate?
It looks like it.
That's really cool. Now Elwin goes through. We'll try and find an opening. Pain Gaming are scared back, and the Healing Light is just keeping Cray up as this first Abyssal Dragon is kited down.
Yeah, again, man, Elwin looking so good in his Alice. He's landed every single one of those Sunshine hits there and able to land these stuns.
And being able to find the stuns like that just guarantees, at the very least, clear for your team. Now with half HP on Abyssal, Cray will open up, but No Mercy solidifies the Dragon take for Geo, giving them an early gold lead.
Yeah, really good job. And when Violet gets ahead of Lindis, that is big trouble because Violet counters Lindis so hard in the late game. Lindis wants to get ahead and just starve out the Valley here, but Geo is just not allowing any way for Pain Gaming to do that.
Here's the Might Golem up for grabs again for Geo. Pain, well, Cray knows there's something wrong, but I'm not sure he'll be able to contest as the Might Golem is easily picked up. All of Geo will retreat. The Friendship's shielding gives them the speed boost necessary to get out.
Yeah, and they have the jungle timers down. I mean, Geo's doing such a good job. Like you said, they did the little counter rotation. They won the Dragon side, and they rotated immediately. 3 of them went straight down the river to the Golem and secured it because they know the jungle timers and the rotation.
Oh, that was a good duo. Elwin throws out his Hissy Fit. Momo can't retreat, and Metal just lands a blinding Shining Light combo. And already there's no HP left on the mid laner.
Yeah, they're looking so good right now. And then Eldwin just by himself there, engaging super hard.
And it's
his
enough.
team is right behind him.
Because he's there to threaten, Pain Gaming don't dare finish the Spirit Sentinel. ZRK indeed in the bot lane is busy recalling during this time, guaranteeing this fight will favor
Oh,
Geo
look at
Esports.
that. Dual stun there. And they're going to take it as well. And now level 6, going to be level 7 pretty soon. Yep, level 7 now. And White is 2 levels behind.
Oh.
That is not good for Lindis right now.
That is not sustainable, and if you look at the gold across the team, Pain Gaming are really suffering.
Yeah, they're really suffering. And they have to figure out how to, you know, understand the rotation that Geo's doing. Geo always rotates to key objectives, so maybe go off rotation and get a gank and try to get back in the game and trade. Because right now, they're not trading anything. They're losing their jungle, they're losing lane pressure, and they're not trading. And if they don't trade, they're going to continue to fall more and more behind.
No mercy, Elwind's group up towards mid. Cray will need to get back. And Momo are on the mid lane. White in the meantime. Well, we finally getting some of his own jungle. That's a nice change for him. Tycho up top. Oh, that's quite good actually. Maybe the lane swap will work out favorably for them.
Yeah, that was really good play by Tycho.
Missile Dragon does go again to Geo though, and undoes some of the good that was just done for Pain.
But we know when Angro gets fed and gets his build, he's going to start doing so much work on this Irie. And look at that, No Mercy is putting so much pressure. Remember, No Mercy has not died in the past 7 games. So watch his positioning, watch how he uses his abilities, dodging the cleave.
Uh-oh. And now ZRK is trapped up for front. There will be a healing light to keep them up. They do get the wave clear, but it's very, very hard to do so. Look at this, though, from Pain. So aggressive in the side lane.
Wow, he had to use his rear ultimate. Expertly clears the wave out, but Taiku and White here putting so much pressure.
It's a fun little duo, and we'll have to talk about it later because there's still pressure down bottom. It will be No Mercy claiming the first tower of the game for Geo Esports.
Yeah, look at that. Meadows going to back off expertly there, take minimal damage from White's rotation.
So how do you feel about Tycho and White rotating together as Lindis Valheim?
Yeah, I do like it because those are the key 2 carries for the team right now, especially in the early phase of the game. Lindis just wants to stay caught up, and in late game they got to give a lot of that farm over to their Momo there, their Crixie player, because Crixie is going to be able to do a lot of damage with the Moonfall on the knock-up when Angra wants to dive in there.
We talked about the Pain Gaming early game. I feel so far they've been kind of shut out of it, but they're doing a remarkably good job considering of staying in this game overall.
Yeah, and we do know Crixie actually works really well to Liliana.
Oh, Tycho, goodbye.
Oh,
Elwin sends his regards, the Hissy Fit and the Sunshine, just to cut off his retreat.
yeah, and that's why Alice, when you're decisive and your team's on the same page, a Hissy Fit is death because you're silenced, you're slowed, you can't move, then the Sunshine comes out, and then the combos come out, and then boom, you're dead. And look at this.
Speaking of, Lycan doesn't use his second use of Rend there because he's too busy distracting for the rest of the team to come through mid, take another tower.
Yeah, again, look at it. They are 5,000 or 3,000 gold ahead now. 4-0. They're not meeting quite the 1 kill a minute mark that they usually meet because Pain is a better team. But still, the stats just look really favorable for Geo.
Well, here is this Abyssal Dragon up for grabs. Pain Gaming need it should they want to return into the game, but Geo are baiting them so well! Taiku is gone! Angro will dive in now, the Shadow is spent, the Moonfall will chunk him, but he gets the trade fair and square. All the same, the Riki shot will connect, Cray barely survives, ZRK will hard commit in the meantime, but No Mercy keeps him shut down and keeps him chunked down. The Malik player will fall. And actually, Momo, he overextended. Lycan has a flank, he has a stun, he has another kill in what should have been at least some sanctuary for Pain Gaming.
What a play there. Angra and the focus there on the back line, killing Taiku and then jumping onto Momo and ZRK, using ultimate at low health. Angra sacrificed himself, but he gets the kill and then No Mercy, positioning so perfectly here, just not losing any health, and again, not dying yet. And look at that, 2 kills for him, and Lycan, perfect knockups in these team fights, helping Geo just completely dominate Pain in these team fights and securing all the key objectives.
And crucially, like you say, this will be another key objective, an Abyssal Dragon over to Geo Esports.
Yeah, if you want to watch how well the team is engaged and how they're focused there, that is a class example there of how you want to rotate and fight as a team.
Beautiful, and they'll be able to get that Spirit Sentinel. Pain Gaming earn something back at least.
Yeah, and I love, again, No Mercy is just playing so well. His positioning is just perfect. The way he's dancing around, he understands the limits and the range of Violet. He doesn't get hit by any of his opponents. He allows the enemy team to use all of their abilities first to react to the engagement of his team, and then he grows aggressive as Violet. That's how you want to play a hyper carry. You do not want to put yourself in positions where the abilities can be used against you.
Metal reads this push well. They used Lycan as bait. The idea was Metal might be able to come through and seal their fate, as is, though. It's all just a distraction because Geo Esports, in the meantime, are working away at this Dark Slayer.
Yeah, 9-minute Dark Slayer. That is looking so solid for them. Puts him at 7k gold ahead now. Angro is going to be in a tough spot, but using her shadow mobility, just jumps away like a ninja.
God, I love Irek. It's so effective to just get away from the middle of fights. You can use that Shadow as one of the highest mobility DPS characters in the game.
Yeah, she's high reward, definitely. She's squishy, but if she can get onto opponents... And look at that. Tomb of the Reaper being built on Alice here. It's going to counter the heal from Pyrrha there. Wow, what great counter building.
And because that anti-heal item is on the Alice, the big AoE hissy fit will apply it.
To everyone.
Now, here's the pressure underneath the tower. There's that hissy fit. The tower is gone. No Mercy melting them.
Yeah, Eldwin has no defense. I mean, Alice is super squishy.
Well, we'll have to see if they can try and get through to him. I don't think so, though, because the Drake opens things up. There's the commit. Aggro will be melted to their credit. Cray lands a great nature's rally. Yes, the tower is down, but Pain Gaming have found some response.
Wow.
But Metal, he goes in and absolutely shreds Pain Gaming. No Mercy joins in as well, and there should be another tower and possibly the core exposed.
Man, No Mercy played that so well there.
Here's the final push. Pain Gaming need to hold on. Taiku is the player responsible for it. He's chunked down. Momo cannot get there in time, and Pain Gaming take game one.
At the end of the day, it's the rock slide. Is the easiest way to put it. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but in this instance, it was quite the bout indeed. Welcome back to the desk, gentlemen. What are we thinking?
Geo is just this bolder and just unstoppable. I mean, the way that they played, I mean, the early game execution, it was pretty flawless, honestly. And the synergy of the combo and the sequencing of how they did that was just amazing to watch. And No Mercy's positioning was awesome. I mean, this guy has not died yet. This is the 8th game where he has not died. Look at his KDA.
5-0 and
That's a
5.
10
Oh my
KDA.
goodness. And Metal as well, it might not have showed as much in his KD, but it felt like every fight, he was the player that was able to eke out big bursts in their favor.
Yeah, and landing multiple stuns as well with that Binding Light. And the key is also Elwin did a really good job assisting the Hissy Fits, the Sunshines, and also counter-building against his support. I mean, the Tomb of the Reaper on the Alice, he didn't really need it, but that was very smart to make sure in case, you know, something does happen, they're able to But Pain did show some signs of life because, like I said, Crixie came online as soon as Angra dove in. Crixie Moonfall, CC'd Angra, and then Angra just blew up immediately. That was their chance to turn it around, but again, No Mercy. He just carried. It was a 3 versus 5, and then No Mercy literally just killed 3 people, and he killed the 4th person, and the game was over.
In 7 games, No Mercy finds himself at 41, 0, and 50. If you take a look at the stat line of the last 7 games, 0 deaths. And that 41 kills is even with a 0-kill game in game number 2 against INTZ. So this man has an absolute monster. But let's go ahead and take a look at our AT&T replays of the game. This has shown why Geo Esports is the boulder coming down and raining pain on Pain themselves.
Metal and Angra start this fight so well, and then once they picked off an isolated player, they could just hard commit into the backlines because it's already a 5v4. Pain Gaming tried to find a response, and to see ZRK go all the way in and just get shut down like this was heartbreaking.
Yeah, and the thing is, Cray was low, But if Cray went in there and used Healing Light for ZRK, they could have maybe potentially changed the fight. Because look how low everyone is. If Mobile and Cray committed in that fight with ZRK, they could have salvaged that fight and came right back into it. Because he landed a great shock ultimate against his opponents there. But look at this engage here. Anger is going to go in here along with Lycan. They're both going to die. But watch how No Mercy turns this around. Look at the engage. Anger going in there and Lycan goes in. And then the Moonfall just blows everyone up. Beautiful shock ultimate. Gets the kill. The Healing Light. All these heals come out. But look at No Mercy and his damage. Metal. The focus. The burst. Liliana and Violet just so destructive. And they're both, 3 of them, super squishy. It was just awesome.
I want to give credit to Pain, though, because, like, especially in that last fight, we see how they win. We didn't see them win, but we saw how they could have.
Exactly.
And, like, that Nature's Rally combo with the Moonfall was super sick. I want to see more of that going into Game 2. They are in no way out of it, because with a start that bad, with a game that good for Geo, they still managed to show some signs of life.
All right, but now as we look forward to game number 2, Pain is not a team that is going to sit down, bow down to the new rulers that we have at the top of the leaderboards with Geo Esports. What can they do in game number 2? Because it seemed like they picked themselves a solid draft. How can they improve upon this draft and then improve on execution coming in game 2?
I think the key is the early game execution. If they have to not get they can't give Geo too much value. I mean, Geo hit 2 to 3 people with all of their stuns. The spin, the Ren knock-up, the Alice Sunshine. That was just too much damage, and then Pain just couldn't defend their jungle. So I feel like they need to position better and make sure they don't give Geo too much value so that Geo can then out-pressure them.
We put a lot of emphasis on their early game, and to see them just shredded like that during the first 5 minutes was heartbreaking after all that emphasis.
I mean, they had Lindis, they had Malik.
Yeah.
You know, those are very strong in the early game.
And they didn't come up until the mid-game. We are into the draft for game number 2. Maybe we see that Jinner comp we were asking for. Maybe that's the return.
And Pain, it's gonna, they don't want to give. Again, Elwin is amazing on Mina. We just saw him play Alice, and he's just really good at Alice too. Elwin is a very, very capable support.
Slim's banned out again to shut down No Mercy.
But hey, there's other options. I mean, there's
Not
Lindis
the Violet.
now. So Lindis might be first picked here. So Ibeneth may be banned. I don't think they really care about Valheim. Geo has learned how to counter the Valheim. Valheim has actually fell out of the meta against all the other top teams in other regions like Chinese Taipei, because teams figured out how to play against him, how to counter him. And look at that, Lindis being taken off. There's not a lot of carries left. There's Finnick, there's Morin, but there's also Kriknak as well. So those are 3 of the last strong carries that make sense.
No Mercy has looked relatively weak on melee assassins in the past. It may be the plan of Pain Gaming to first pick themselves a Fennec and try and force their opponents over.
Ibeneth is open.
Oh, you are right.
Better take Ibeneth here.
I will say, though, you have to give the respect now even more so to No Mercy in the sense that both Lindis and the Slims are being banned away from him. Clearly, you have the Violet, which is the standard on the blue side, but still, 2 jungle bans being designated specifically for No Mercy.
I'd like to point out how hard a decision this is for Pain Gaming. Because it's not just a case of, oh, let's first pick Ibeneth. Because if they let that through, think about how much comes in response. Now, I wouldn't have gone for a Malik. But Geo Esports do still have, they're going to let something through that Pain Gaming can play with, even if this Malik is the lock-in.
If they let Ibeneth through, Ibeneth Pyrrha is going to be such a strong combo for Geo. But Geo might play Alice. They actually prefer Alice. If you guys notice in the first few weeks of the Valor series, Geo banned away Alice because they fear Alice for whatever reason. So they're really good on Alice. So they may take Ibeneth and Alice here potentially, because the Malik-Alice combo is very strong. And even Malik Pyrrha is really strong too, but we know that Pain Gaming had Malik and Pyrrha, and it didn't work out for them in the last game. So Geo may take Ibeneth here along with Alice. So let's see if that is going to show up.
Draft number 2 and 3. Geo Esports get both.
Oh, there's Crash also. Crash is also open.
And like you're saying, there's a lot of engage tools available for them. If this isn't a Ibeneth during the next wave, I'm officially upset.
I'm curious to see as well, outside of the Ibeneth, what Geo Esports ends up putting No Mercy on. If you take a look at his history over the course of just this season, clearly the Slims and the Lindis be his 2 powerful spots.
There you go.
They need to take Alice. Alice is going to counter Kriknak. Oh, they're going to take Pyrrha instead. Okay.
Now,
no, Ibeneth.
Now,
yeah, where's Ibeneth?
No Mercy has played Kriknak before. He played him in game number 2 of week 2 against Synergy Esports. Went 1-3-2. It was only one.
Oh, wow.
It was one of 2
I
times.
did not like his play on Crickneck.
It was one of 2 times in his entire play where he actually finished negative kills to deaths.
Yeah.
Once was on a Fennec, he went 0-3-5. The second was on that Crickneck 1-3-2. We need to see if No Mercy is capable of playing these assassin melee junglers.
Yeah.
So, hats off to Pain Gaming for forcing that, because...
Ooh, I mean, they pick Alice. That's such a good counter against Crickneck.
What
Alice
if they
is
pick
literally...
Yabedith Alice?
Yeah, that's really solid. That's 2 strong side laners, and that can counter the Crickneck really hard. 'Cause if he goes in, you have to worry about a hissy bit, you have to worry about a shock ultimate, and you have to worry about Ibeneth, right? Ibeneth has so much CC.
Well-
He can just clap you away into his arms, branching out there. So that's the key. And if they pick Alice and Ibeneth, they're going to be in good shape. And they're
What
not
about
going to pick
Fennec
Alice.
Yabedith?
That's good
Yeah,
too. But
Fennec.
I feel like they don't need to pick Fennec here.
I think, yeah, I agree, but you could also run him in sideline, and Gio might do that just to spite White.
They might run the Crickneck
Yeah.
and Yorn composition here. If they do play that composition, it's very strong, especially into a Malik and Ibeneth, because range will counter both those side laners. So Yorn could be a pick, but I'm not sure if Lycan... I don't think we've seen him on Yorn. They may opt with the Ardren, because again, Lycan's Ardren is amazing. They even might go with Superman. Superman will be really good for as an engage with the Pyrrha and the Crickneck going in there. Look, this is a heavy dive assassin type of composition with Liliana being that mage assassin that she is.
I think you need the Liliana, you need poke at this point to keep the distance so that you're able to not just get burned down by the AoE. If you try anything that's going to play close together around the Pyrrha, this Fennec is going to have a field day. This Yabedith is going to have a field day.
I wonder which team will take Crash, because Crash is open, he's very strong. He would be really good.
Pain of the slot
Wow,
for him,
what?
don't they?
Wonder Woman. This is... Okay, Marja. I'm not a big fan of Marja in this matchup. Marja is more ranged than the Malik, but won't be able to outpush the Bennett, because Bennett's passive is going to let him just recover his health, and Marja has a lot of sustain too.
I really don't like this Geo Esports draft. I decidedly dislike it. This from Pain Gaming, on the other hand, looks like an incredibly strong draft. They have so much AoE, and against a Pyrrha, they're almost guaranteed to have to be grouped up at least 1 or 2 points. So I think this is a really strong draft for Pain Gaming, and all they need is maybe a bit more frontline.
Zuka, ZRK might be on his way, and Crash,
There it is.
as expected, is going to come out here, because I'm surprised why they didn't pick him. Although in this situation, I'd rather have seen Alice, because Alice is so good against a Crickneck diving into you. So I'm disappointed they didn't pick Alice, but Crash is still solid as long as they work together. And I know Taiku has an amazing Crash. He was known for his Crash in weeks 4 and 5. So I'm excited to see how that's going to come out here. Not week 5, but week 4 and earlier. Now the last pick, they have to pick their last side laner. They could go for an Assassin to complement. They could go for a Yorn to keep his distance and counter the Malik here. So well that Yorn pick come out, but since they have a Pyrrha, they may want to go just full dive potential, because Marja, Liliana, and Crickneck all want to go in and dive really hard here. So they could go with the Irie and just go full assassin. And Zephy's what we picked up. We saw Anger play Zephy's really well, actually.
I have to say, I think Geo Esports lost this draft hard.
Well, Zephy's and
think-
Crickneck is a super hard counter against Fennec.
I-
And Raz. If
Yeah,
they get
but-
CC, they're dead.
I think the issue, though, and I think this is kind of what TJ is alluding to, is they have to get there.
Yeah.
They have to find a way to get onto the Fennec, and you take a look at what you see, Crushed, Ibeneth, Malik, that is a lot that you have to get to if you want to find a way to
Ye
get...
shall not passeth.
No, God.
Yabedith has the capacity to completely shut down anyone who thinks they're getting into the backlines, not just with his more obvious abilities, but also his ult is a very good slow.
Yeah, he's going to activate Nature's Realm and protect his opponents.
Well, in the...
I mean,
That was
allies.
the most
While-
bored
No.
Nature's realm.
While I process these atrocious memes that even I find in some regard preposterous, let's go ahead and do some giveaways, because everybody likes free things, not the free words that TJ spouts out of his mouth when it comes to Ibeneth memes.
You free.
You Benneth. You freeth.
Here you go.
You branch
Take,
out.
take your memes,
You
take
clap.
your dreams, and take some codes.
We're enjoying ourselves. And here's their codes. Other direction, sorry. Yes, codes and a gold coin.
That was for the meme.
All right, remember, these are region locked, Europe, North America, as well as Latin America. If you're in that region, put in the code for the region that you're in. If you're in Latin America, do not put in the code for Europe because it's not going to work. We've tried it. It's not going to work.
Arguably, it's fine if they put in the code. They just won't get the skin.
There you
So
go.
that's just evolution.
Evolution. All right. We've seen the draft. We've seen what your guys' clear predictions are. Looking at this draft, do you feel like those predictions are going to hold themselves true, seeing what we see on the board?
Yes.
Yes, but Gio needs to
Ooh.
win early because Zephy's and Cricknack could fall off late game. It's harder to siege towers. So if they can run away with the early game, then I think they have. But No Mercy might.
I was feeling
Lose his streak.
nervous after game 1. I was thinking, oh, maybe this will be a 2-0. But that draft phase has completely reinvigorated my confidence. I think Pain Gaming are taking this game 2 dominantly.
All right. Well, we find ourselves onto the We're going to the Antares battlefield, guys. The Boulders of Geo Esports crushed Pain Gaming and essentially made them feel their namesake. But now the Pain train is back in full effect. Choo-choo, and it's time to go. Name number 2, Pain Gaming versus Geo Esports.
TJ, never change your laugh.
Thanks. Geo Esports need to hold the middle lane during this time. We talked about the early game, and already Pain Gaming are playing very, very aggressive. ZRK, by contrast, is the player they've left behind to anchor their jungle while both teams invade.
Yeah, look at this here. Nice trading off the jungle and Gangra there.
Playing really aggressive into the jungle just to counter-invade and stop Pain from having full control.
Yeah, distracted them a little bit. And that's good because Ibeneth is going to win lane and out-pressure Angra. So Geo needs to gank Taiku here, or Pain Gaming need to rotate and pressure with Taiku and make sure they can get ganks onto Angra before he turns level 4.
Metal and Elwind will be in the mid lane during this time. That's going to be the 2 support duos, and I do favor the Crest here because of his disengage. I really like Metamorphosis as a tool to stop setups.
Yeah, I do like how Metal's playing it. He last hit so well. If you guys know, last hits provide much more gold now. You know, 30+% more gold when you last hit. This is really important early game.
Angara, you've stepped into the wrong neighborhood, and there is so much follow-up. He's gone!
And that's exactly what you want to do. When you have the early game pressure that Ibeneth can give you inside lane, you then set up for these ganks, and Pain Gaming is playing exactly to their win condition right now.
That was such a good trap, using the Chainhammer Cyclone to block his retreat, even if he had.
Yeah.
That was incredibly well done from Pain.
Yeah, I was surprised Angara went down instead of, you know, flying across the wall to safety there. So it's a very interesting direction of escape he picked.
Trying to get into the bush, maybe. I don't know. Abyssal Dragon will be up. Geo Esports need to contest this. Already the Chainhammer Cyclone is there. No Mercy dives in and steals it. Now, Gray's in a lot of trouble. Actually, this could be a full turnaround because he doesn't get a Metamorphosis. The healing light from Elwood keeps the entire team
Drone
up.
drop is
And
up.
No Mercy is here with the drone drop. He will find the kill.
What perfect positioning there, waiting for the right moment to engage.
White in trouble as well. Angara hard commits, but isn't able to find the kill. Now he's knocked back. Momo juggles him, and the trades are even.
That was so close. Angara almost got the kill. Look how low his health is. White escaped with a sliver of his health. But again, No Mercy with beautiful engage and steal.
Shock, Nature's Realm, a deadly combo, and Elwin's knocked very low. Now Taiku goes in, Redwood Rush joined with Momo. They've got so much knockback, they've got another kill. I don't know what you do against this Pain Gaming roster.
Yeah, they're doing such a good job now. It's still even. They are up 2 kills, 3-1 against Geo here. This is the exact situation they're looking for. However, that steal from No Mercy really did an excellent job for Geo Esports to stay in this game.
White, going back to the jungling, we put a lot of emphasis on the early game. The fact that Pain Gaming have managed to completely lock down, turn around, take control of the early game 2 bodes very, very well.
It does bode very well for them. Angro trying to stay in this game. Ibeneth does not have a huge lead here ahead of Taiku right now, which means that's good. Look at this 3-man rotation for them to the top lane. It's going to be a 4-man collapse. We do have a short pause here real quick, make sure things are situated and working properly.
I just sit down really quickly.
I know.
I got in my seat. We're fine. I think this is a really good look for Pain Gaming. Coming out of the draft, I was feeling better for them. The fact that they've managed to not just control the early game, not just defend, but I would say they're taking aggressive action to remedy what went wrong in game 1.
Yeah, I love that combo too. Taiku activating Nature's Realm. They got it onto Eldwin. Pyrrha was then trapped, and then the Shock Ultimate came right on top of her. Then they secured the kill onto Pyrrha. So if they keep up with these combos and these engages, they can easily upset Geo in this game here because they're looking really solid so far.
And Razia Bennett? I didn't realize that was going to be so scary, but the combo knockback, the CC, it's insane.
Yeah, Angra went in on the bottom lane, tried to get the kill on White. White literally escaped with a sliver itself, and then you see Raz knock Angra back into the tower, and then the follow-up from Ibeneth as well. It was just too much for Angra to handle, and then Zephyrs just fell immediately. So that's exactly how you want to play against Geo, because you notice Angra is a little over-eager, over-aggressive, loves to engage, try to secure kills, and that's where Pain needs to punish the over-eagerness of Angra.
So, it's a good start for Pain Gaming. Geo Esports, if they're going to return, where does it come from? Well, maybe from Taiku. Isolated, his Nature's Realm will almost kill Angra. They've got the healing light. He takes the entire team with him. Come on, boys, we're going on a field trip.
Yeah, but look at this mid lane rotation there. They're going to trade the top for mid lane, and that's huge for Pain, because the mid tower is one of the most important towers in the map, and they might be able to take a tier 2 turret as well. And Geo has to return because they cannot lose a tier 2 turret. And look at Angra, will rotate just in time.
Lycan is here on the flank. Cray does a metamorphosis though. White in a lot of trouble. We'll be able to Shade Hammer, Cyclone, and it combos well. Cray's through to Lycan. He will survive because White is even lower, and Cray needs to play defense. He'll hold Angra back. ZRK's Shock does a good zoning tool as well. Elwyn to No Mercy need to withdraw. That metamorphosis has just ended though, and that dooms Cray to an early demise.
Angra. Beautiful game. No Mercy's positioning and dodging abilities and just knowing when to go in and when to go out. It's so impressive.
Oh, White. Oh, Momo as well. Geo Esports find 2 kills on 2 sides of the map. Taiku will try Nature's Realm down, No Mercy, but the healing light undoes everything he could do.
Man, No Mercy just showing off this Kriknak and his abilities here, doing such a good job, going in, dodging the Shock Ultimate, engaging when he needs to, backing off, and making sure he does not take any damage when he doesn't need to, and then engaging at the right moment here. Look at the heal coming out.
Taiku.
He's ready to go in.
Yeah, he is. That will be a Nature's Realm, opening things up. The Abyssal Dragon still up for grabs, just been slayed. Taiku will go down. Dragon to No Mercy, and the rest of Geo and Pain Gaming are in so much trouble. And Momo, he's still pressing forward. He's going to get stuck. No Mercy with the drone drop. That is another kill to Geo Esports.
And he took the Abyssal Dragon on top of that and secured additional kills. He's at 4-0-2 right now. This guy is just an absolute monster, no matter what hero he plays. And look at White, they're in a really tough position. But No Mercy's not greedy. He's going to back off.
The Locusts almost get him, but we're fine. I asked moments ago, how did Geo Esports get back in the game? I'm going to change the question. How did Geo Esports get back in the game?
Well, they had a beautiful rotation. It took advantage of the over-positioning from mid lane there, and then the Abyssal Dragon was key. That fight was phenomenal. No Mercy takes the Abyssal Dragon, they engage, and they kill Pain Gaming 1 by 1 with their decisive engage. And No Mercy just weaved in and out of that fight. It was perfect.
And they're still finding these isolated picks. You just saw ZRK go down in the bottom lane. Pain Gaming now begin to cluster their players as a response, and they're going to start losing jungle.
Yeah, and look at Angra's ahead, level 9, level 9. Look at all level 9s on Geo side. Barely anyone's level 9 on Pain Gaming. No one's level 9 yet, actually. So this is looking solid for Geo. They have decisively took the lead. 7 kills ahead, just like that, in 2 minutes. And 6k go ahead on top of that.
White will try and hold this mid lane, but oh my god, Metal and Lycan are just doing so much damage. It's absurd.
Ooh, look at No Mercy, sneaky.
He's got big ears too.
Yeah. The one thing they got to be careful of is Angra's alt engage here, because with that alt engage, that sets up Pyrrha and sets up a huge drone drop, because everyone's on top of each other and you land a death from above. Kriknak does so much AoE burst damage.
Taiko in the jungle, trying to hold on despite Angara's pressure, spends everything he can, but the Nature's Realms is almost no damage. Now the Riki shot will connect. The branching out found a stun, but you cannot stun that Riki shot. It'll connect, and Metal finds himself another kill.
The tree man could not run away fast enough, and the Spirit Bomb hits him, unfortunately.
Ents known for many things, speed not one of them.
Yes, that was such a brilliant Reki shot that he activated. 2 rank breakers for Crickneck and Zephyrs. That's a lot of Pierce that's coming out already. More damage being put onto them, and no armor really being built, except for Bennett there with Mantle of Raw. But no one really has that much defense against all this attack damage power coming from Geo.
And you can see the Pain Gaming members just melting every time a fight comes up. That needs to change if they want to way back into the game. The only way that changes, though, is them being able to leave lane. It feels like that's not happening.
Taking our time. No Mercy, level 13?
My goodness.
Compared to level 9s, that's 4 levels ahead of his opponents.
Oh
my god.
We watched Cricknack a few games ago. We said that you have to be ahead to do damage. No Mercy's ahead.
Look at that.
And he's doing damage. Now the mid tower is under threat. Pain Gaming do hold by clearing wave. But Geo are so far forward. White will be able to get through with the rolling. The Chain Hammer Cyclone. That might be good, but Taiku's already got the Metamorphosis. Has to just be a disengage. You're not holding this, Pain Gaming. Angara goes in. 1v3. Now the shock's there in response, but no mercy.
His first death. His first death.
Oh my goodness. His first death in 6 games or something bad like that. ZRK will fall as well, and Pain Gaming are in a lot of trouble. It is only Cray. He doesn't have the Metamorphosis. He doesn't have the clear. The core will fall, and Geo Esports 2-0.
Pain Gaming tried to extract what they could from the Geodes of Geo Esports, but alas, it was too hard for them as they walk away with a 2-0 victory on the backs of none other than the jungler that we highlighted in the regional rivalries video, No Mercy.
Yeah, actually, this is his 9th game, so he actually went 8 games without dying, and then No Mercy, man. You messed that streak up, unfortunately, but he did it for the right reason, sacrificing himself
the streak up,
and won the game.
diving behind 2 towers to rush the enemy core.
Yeah, but his positioning on is so awesome. I mean, when Crickneck activates drone drop, he has a few seconds to then use the ability to jump on and hop onto his opponents, and he did it so perfectly. You notice his drone drop, he would hover around, wait for the right moment, abilities were used, and then jump in, get the burst in, and then secure the kill. Beautiful positioning and use of abilities for him there. A big improvement from what we've seen him before.
This game looked so good for Pain Gaming. They had such good remember when we were like, Pain Gaming have this in the back. Remember that was the conversation we were having?
Yeah, you Bennett.
You Bennett, you lost it.
And you Bennett got you bopped it. Let's take a look at our replays. AT&T replays of the game can show none other than Geo Esports going 1, 2, 3, and a domino effect.
Look at No Mercy. His positioning gets the healing light there. Look at when he engaged. He waits for the right moment. Look at that. All abilities are used. Then he goes in, secures a kill, gets the dragon as well. And this is the turnaround for them. 4 versus 3. Look at that. My goodness. Just the positioning, the decision-making by the team. He backs off again. Escapes Momo, and Momo, now you're in trouble. Drone drop, boom! And you are gone, Raz. Goodbye, Fist of Fury.
I'd like to put something out for the constant healing coming through from the Pura. Like, every single time there was good poke, the fight paused for a moment, healing light was there, and there was no way to turn the fight around from that point on.
Yeah, and then healing light does more heal the less health you have. It actually heals 10% of your lost HP, and that's why No Mercy was able to get so much heal from Pura when he was that low. I mean, just perfect juggling of aggro, and knowing just when to go in. Guys, study what No Mercy is doing and learn from him.
So with that unfortunate death that he has in that, still finds himself in 16 games of the Valor series. He has died in 7 of them.
Yeah.
7 and 9 is what he is, or sorry, 9 0 death games, and the other ones, and he has been been a crazy one. Actually, no, I stand corrected. I was looking at the wrong one. It's 6. Sorry, 6 out of 16 games.
Yeah. He could have bought the Blade of Infinity before he died, and saved your stat there, but weren't quick enough, unfortunately.
He must not know that the stat's there. Otherwise, I feel like as a player, if I knew that I'd gone 7 games without dying, it would be
He could have bought a
paramount.
Death Sickle and a Blade of Infinity.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've been talking about him. You've been hearing about him. Well, let's go ahead and see it up on the board. The MVP for the Latin American region of today goes to none other than No Mercy himself. He was the MVP of the entirety of the Valor Series last week, and he finds himself keeping up with his momentum, kill after kill after kill after kill after kill.
Yeah, and that's the way you got to beat G2. Don't focus on anger or liking with their engages, right? Punish them their opposition, but when you can get a lock onto No Mercy, you have to kill No Mercy, because if you don't, he's going to carry just like he did in both these games.
Shutting down Geo was the challenge Pain Gaming needed to reach in order to prove that they were a top team in Latin America. Geo Esports, I feel, by dominating them like that, demonstrated that no, in fact, they're still on top.
Well, as you can see, MVP has gone to No Mercy, and it's Geo Esports that walks away with the 2-0 over their opponent, Pain Gaming. What seemed like to be Pain Gaming hopefully getting themselves in that top 3 more substantially, Geo Esports keeps their reign at the top position. As we can highlight now, taking a look at our standings, 14-2. Pain Gaming now drops to 10-6.
The crazy thing is that 2 loss, one of it was from Synergy. Synergy has only beat Geo Esports in these standings, so America is interesting.
So for me, this opens up a lot. Nova Esports now is 1 win-loss away from tying and then potentially overtaking Pain Gaming. Now, while for the regional finals, if they finish at 2-3, they will still have to play each other. But side positioning is extremely important when you think about it coming into these matches. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Nova. You have been a big fan of them throughout the development of the last couple weeks. Pain Gaming, the juggernaut that we saw go to the AWC and be the representative for Latin America, they're starting to dip.
I think something to be aware of as well, this is true in Latin America and I guess all the regions, because we have a dominant team in all the regions. The team that comes in 4th place needs to play them game 1. So maybe you super don't want to be in that 4th place if it's Allegiance or Geo Esports or Nova Esports, depending on the region. So it's a race to, be top 4, but also maybe be 2-3.
All right. Gentlemen, you guys have seen it on the desk. We have seen it here. You have seen it at home. Latin America has been all off the mark, but we still have 1 region left remaining. We head over now to the northwestern hemisphere, or northwestern part of the world, rather. We've got North America. They are up next. We are going to take ourselves a short, quick break. When we return, Valor Series action resumes.
All right, guys, that was the Latin America Saturday games. I'm going to go ahead and play the NA games because we didn't get to watch them the other day, and I don't want to get too far behind because there's still Sunday's games. So, yeah, I'm gonna put on NA, and then after NA, I'll play the actual game. And you should have your percentage, your sale percentage between, hopefully not 10, if not 10% all the way to 50%. I heard there's 60. I'm not sure though. On your on some heroes, which I'm gonna buy too, because they're really cheap, and so are some of the skins. So the skins are like $249 for most of them. Excuse me, I actually put it on Discord. But damn, excuse me, my throat. I haven't been talking all day, so throat's not clear. Anyway, so I'll be right back. Give me like 5 minutes to set up the North Americans. I'll be back.